Yes,
Okay.
Miss.
All right, that's good. Okay, so we could start. We will talk about monsters. Oh my goodness, monsters. But first, we have to define what are monsters, right? I mean, what makes a monster a monster? Okay, so our culture is full of this Philippine legendary monsters. And I think it's one of the reasons why our culture is very colorful. It's because we have so many legendary monsters in our, especially stories of our forefathers, ancestors, and our grandparents, maybe. Well, during my time, of course, I don't know if it's still a fad today, but it's a fad before to be learning from your grandparents about different types of monsters, okay? So, really scary stuff. And usually the scary stories about these legendary monsters was so that you'd be a good kid, okay? But even adults are trying to be good because some of them really it's not just mythical. They're not just mythical monsters, they're not just legendary monsters. Some of them actually have real experiences according to their accounts. Okay, so they may be true, they may be not, but in our culture it could be true. And here are the questions that we need to answer. By the end of the session, you should be able to know what are monsters, okay, and why are monsters dangerous, and which legendary monsters are popular. Of course, this is subjective. Some legendary monsters are popular to one region, and some are not. Of course, so it depends where it's coming from, where the monster is coming from, because even monsters have a place to stay. Even monsters have habitats, okay? And usually they're in the mountains and in the trees, especially in the trees. That's why the more you cut trees, the more evil will be released, because these evil spirits or these monsters, they were believed to be living inside trees peacefully. And once they are disturbed, once you cut a tree, you ruin their home, so they become homeless. So they randomly go about wherever they want, making other people's lives miserable. Okay, so they say that you shouldn't cut trees, because the more you cut trees, the more evil will be released, since evil spirits live inside trees. Okay, so is this familiar to you, this look? Anybody who sees this as a familiar look? This one, if you can see my screen. What is this? Is this familiar to you? This is actually what? Yes, Marie Chris, it's tikbalang. Very good. Okay, how about this one? Is this ghoulish babe?
Anak po, miss.
Yes, very good, Shana. Okay, who was that? Sino nagsalita?
Me po, miss. Ivan po.
Ivan. Okay, very good, Ivan. How about this one? Ito, pinaka-popular. Anybody? What kind of monster is this? Yes? Who's speaking, please? Ano yan, darling?
Manananggal, miss.
Yun, manananggal. Very good. Who is this? Sorry, nakikita ko lang yung screen ko.
Opo.
Sina, darling? Si?
Alicia po.
Si Alicia. Okay, thank you, Alicia. All right. Okay, so these are just 3 of the most popular. I'm pretty sure there are more. We'll talk about that. But first, let's know what is a monster. Okay, what makes a monster a monster? So a monster is a legendary animal combining features of animal and human form, or having the forms of various animals in combination. All right, so it's not looking like a normal person like we do, okay? It doesn't look like us. There's always something that sets it apart from us. Some could hide it very well. It could appear human, could look human enough, but there's always a part a body part or something there that is apart from everyone else that makes it stand out and makes it a monster, okay? So it's usually a mutated or a mutation of animals or beasts and humans, okay? And it's also any creature that is so ugly or monstrous. And this frightens people. The appearance, the ugly appearance, or the monstrosity of the appearance frightens people, okay? Any animal, a monster is also any animal or human grotesquely deviating from the normal shape, behavior, or character. Okay, so this is already going towards the monsters that are subjective. So some people think that if you look differently, even though you're a human being, you're not really a monster, but if you look very different, for example, you only have one eye, or your nose is kind of blunt, or your mouth is sewn into your nose, something like that. Okay, so there's a different grotesque appearance. Even though you're human, sometimes you could also be tagged as a monster, all right? So this is already an overlapping of definition regarding monsters. And speaking of humans, a monster can also be a person who excites horror by wickedness or cruelty. So any wicked or cruel person, a person who does very evil things, okay, that could also be called a monster. And of course, in a more technical way, monster is pertaining to shape or size, anything that is very humongous or enormous, or anything that is huge, okay? So that's what a monster is. So these are the definitions of what a monster is, okay? So now why are they tagged as dangerous? Monsters are dangerous because they do things to you, things that you do not want to be done to you, okay? So what are these things? Well, first they deceive you to get what they want. So when they say they deceive you to get what they want, all forms of cheating and lying, okay, deception, particular deception, will make you believe that this is the real thing, but it's actually not. Will make you believe that, oh yeah, this is what's going to happen if I do this, but actually no, it's going to put you into trouble. Usually this deception is letting you get yourself into trouble or putting you in peril or danger. Okay, so this is what a monster trap is all about. They will deceive you in order for you to be entrapped, and they will set up their plans and their intentions, and you cannot get out of it anymore. Okay, so that's why monsters are dangerous. Okay, they deceive you to get what they want. Aside from that, monsters also steal, and not just stealing, but they steal and get away with it. So they steal what you have and then they get away with it. Most of the legendary creatures, okay, or the mythical monsters that we know, will steal things from your home or things from your house, okay? And then you wouldn't really realize that it's missing, that something is missing, until you will use it. And when you're about to realize it, you cannot get it back, okay? So they steal what you have and get away with it. And this varies. Some steal babies, okay, because they like to eat babies. Some steal money because they want to have money. They use it for things when they are in human form, okay? And some would steal spirits or your soul, so that they could have their own soul, because they are soulless or spiritless, and they need a soul to be able to gain immortality or to be able to stay on earth. Okay, so these are different types of stealing that our monsters would do. Okay, and then they also make your life miserable, because since their lifestyles are different from yours, your whole routine will be disrupted. And of course, you will be living in fear, fearing for your life, fearing for the safety of your family and your home. This is what they do. They make your life miserable because you know that they're dangerous, and anytime they will attack you. And most of these mythical monsters, they eat you, okay? They want you for brunch. They want you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, okay? So if they catch you, Sometimes it's just not lucky for you. You just become their next meal. Okay, so they eat you. That's why they're dangerous. Monsters can also hold you captive. Okay, sometimes they don't want to eat you. They just want companionship. They want someone to be there for them, especially the diwatas. Okay, they want to be they want to adopt you to be their companion so that they won't feel lonely, so they hold you captive. And there are other times that they hold you captive because they want to eat you bit by bit. So slow torture. That's really scary, to be eaten bit by bit. Okay, all right. And then of course they are dangerous because they attack you, and they will attack you when you are at your most vulnerable. Usually when you are lost, you don't know your way back home. Usually when you are sad and you are unemotionally stable. Usually when you are also um, worried about things, and they can sense your worry, they can sense your fear. So they will attack you in those vulnerable moments of yours. Okay, that's why it's very important to be brave. Okay, and then they can also shapeshift to manipulate you. So when you say they can shapeshift, they can be different forms. They can turn into a cat, they can turn into a dog, it's like an aswang. They can turn into your loved one. They could suddenly be your boyfriend or girlfriend. You don't know. It's already a monster beside you. You wouldn't know, okay? And they would shapeshift into humans so that they will be able to manipulate you, control you, and get whatever they want. So this is another form of deception. And most importantly, why monsters are dangerous is because they kill you, okay? And when, of course, when you're dead, you're dead. So that's the reason why monsters are dangerous. Okay? So here are some of the most popular monsters in Philippine folklore. Anybody who knows or who is familiar with anything here? Wait, what happened? Teka, balik natin to. Yan, okay. And any term here or any name here which is familiar to you? Anybody? There's so many. And this is just what? A few. Yes, Christopher.
Miss, yung Serena po yung mermaid po, di ba?
Yes, very good. Sirena. Sirena is a mermaid. So this is a creature of the water. And they lure or they enchant people to be with them through their voice, through their singing voice, or through their beauty kapag lalaki ka. Or, ewan ko, yeah, usually pag lalaki, okay? Yes, very good, Christopher. How about you, Micaela? Yes, duende. Okay, Hannah says duende also. Okay, can you tell us what is a duende? Anybody? Sige.
Miss,
Go
try
ahead.
ko lang po. Miss, yung duwende po from what I remember, yung kunendo po ko the last time regarding like a duwende cursed my ate's cousin sa
Yes,
corner
oo.
sa attic ng bahay nila, tapos they had to like get, voodoo and everything.
True.
Yeah. Yun lang po
Oo.
yung naalala ko, yung alam ko sa duwende, like, they live in sa corners of the house minsan.
Oo, tama. True. How about you, Hannah? What is your experience of duende? Si Micaela, yun yung experience niya eh. Ikaw, Hannah.
Ako, Miss, medyo mahaba yung story. Ano po?
Go.
When, kasi before in my room, bago ko po kasama matulog yung younger sister ko, dati mag-isa lang po ako sa room. Tapos, sa taas kasi, yung bed ko po, like double deck siya. So, dun sa taas, dun ko iniiwan yung instruments ko, and I have like a guitar na wala sa case. As in, like, patong ko lang dun sa top, tapos guitar lang siya. And like one night pala, nagising ako, like parang mid-sleep, tapos natulog, I tried to go back to sleep. And then, bigla na lang tumulog yung gitara ko. And, yeah, and kasabay pa niya po, dun sa baba, parang may nabagsak na pot. So I was so scared. I was petrified, and I was like just praying like, Jesus, please, like I don't want anything to come to me. Tapos I was just like so scared. Tapos like the next morning, I told my mom about it. Tapos sabi, ba't di ka bumaba? Tapos sabi ko, I was just so scared. I couldn't move. Ano, I think after that, sometimes when I would try to go to sleep, dun sa piggy bank ko na parang plastic, may sound na parang na parang kinakatok, yung parang may high pitch sound na naggaganon, nagtik-tik-tik,
Oh.
ganon. And then I was like, every time I would look at my my piggy bank, the sound would stop. And then when I would
Ah,
cover my ears again,
ano yan?
like the sound would start, I don't know, the sound would start going again. It would start tapping again, and then yeah, I would just like be so freaked out by it. And then I told my teacher once about it, and then sabi niya baka daw duwende yon na natutuwa daw sa akin. I'm like, pwede ba umalis na lang siya?
Ay, pwede.
Like, ewan ko. Tapos sinabi niya may different types of duwende daw. May puti, tapos meron daw itim, tapos may mabait daw na ewan. Ang mabait pa raw yung itim, tapos yung salbahe pa raw yung puti. Tapos sabi ko, okay, ayoko ng duwende kahit mabait pa naman yan. And actually, the only time it stopped was when we had a cat. Tapos yung cat ko pa naman, actually, nagpupunta siya dun sa places na may weird na sound na nangyayari. So I really feel like my cat protected me from like these things. Tapos when my cat died, like literally that same night, yung graduation photo ko nahulog sa shelf habang natutulog ako. So I was like, are you back? What's happening? And now I have a new cat, and ganun din ginagawa niya. Feeling ko, ewan ko, kasi I feel like our cats really protect us, and
Yes,
my new cat, like umiikot-ikot rin siya dito minsan, and yeah, ayun, yun na yung story ko.
Oh, very good. Wow. Totoo yan. Ako din, protected ako by cats eh. Oh, totoo yan. Kasi they can see them. Okay, they can see them. Well, according to a lot of references and testimonies, they can actually see them and they chase them away. Takot sila sa pusa for some reason. Okay, hindi lang daga ang takot sa pusa. All right. So, okay, thank you for that. How about you, Meryl? Salamat, Hannah, for that story. Si Meryl naman, tik-tik. Oh, go, tik-tik. Tell us about tik-tik experience mo.
Sorry po na bali sa ng mom ko.
Ako, choppy ka, dear. Ano yan? Teka. Try
Choppy
ulit mo?
po.
Oo, ulit mo nga, dear.
Ano po, yung story po is para po siyang story ng mom ko na kunento lang po sa akin. And nung pregnant po siya sa baby brother ko po, may store po kasi kami, para po siyang sari-sari store, and walking distance po siya sa house namin. And minsan po din po siya natutulog sa may store po namin para hindi po siya mahirapan. And one night po, parang may nagko-crawl daw po sa may bubong po. And natakot po siya pero kasama yan po yung dad ko. Tapos, di ba niya alam kung tik-tik po ba yun, or pusa, or tao po ba yun, or something. Pero yun po, ikunento lang po nila na parang may maingay daw po dun sa roof po na parang may nagabang or naglalakad. Pero parang impossible po na pusa siya kasi super, parang bigat po nung
Mabigat.
Opo, yun po. Ayun po, natakot po siya.
Okay, thank you, Ariel. How about the others? Anything else? So meron na tayo sa sirena, sa tik-tik, sa duwende. Sino pa? Ano pa yung nakikita niyo dito? Which is familiar to you? Yes, Mary Chris, amalanhig. Okay, tell us about amalanhig.
Well, Miss, as far as I know, it's like a zombie, Filipino version ng zombie.
Amalanhig? Talaga? Di ba taga Busaw yun? Oh.
Oh no, miss. Kasi
Mhm.
kinuwento lang po ito ng nag-aalaga sa akin before. In Bacolod daw, miss. It's actually famous in Visayan region po. Yung
Kasi
Amalanhiga.
akala ko sa Amalanhi parang vampire. Diba
Ayan, miss. Parang
Parang vampira sila.
gano'n. Parang zombie
Oo.
or what. Kasi parang the rise from the grave. Kasi daw. Yung parang aswang daw sila, miss. Pero parang nag-fail ata yung transition. Kaya naging
Okay.
vampire. Parang gano'n. Ang weird nga, I don't believe it. Pero sige, ayun yung story na kinukwento nila. That's why daw, miss, sa Bacolod, there's a particular cemetery there na yung isang hindi daw siya nakalibing, parang yung Nitso ba yun, miss? Yung parang naka-ano daw, miss, naka-portrait daw, tapos naka-chain. Ewan ko. Ang weird.
Oh, talaga? Oh my God, ako kinikilabutan ako. Ay, parang hindi ko makaalis. Kasi they will oh my God, they will resurrect into these flesh-eating oh my God. Sa Bacolod? Oh my God. Wait, thanks Mary kasi hindi ko to alam. Na pala siyang zombie. Oo. Alam ko sa Amalanhiga yung vampire, pero yung pala looking zombies sila, pero parang vampire, they also bite your neck. And diba?
Pero hindi po ako naniniwala hanggang hindi siya pinifeature sa Jessica Soho. I need proof.
You need proof. Okay. All right. Sige, thanks, Mary Chris. Sige, text natin si Jessica Soho. Pero you know what? I think Jessica Soho was able to, correct me if I'm wrong, I think she was able to do a little bit of a documentary regarding aswangs as real. Tama ba? Na parang may nakapag prove. I don't know if it's Jessica Soho or some other journalist or broadcaster na na-prove nila through documentary that there really is an aswang. You've heard of aswang, right? You've all heard of aswang? Any person here who knows aswang? O, sino yung gusto magkwento tungkol sa aswang nila? Aswang experience or thoughts or whatever. Aswang yan kasi yung pinaka-popular I mean, as far as I know. Yan yung pinag-uusapan ng marami. You think you saw that, Mariel? Okay, all right. Oh. So, what about aswang? Ang dami kasing versions ng aswang eh. Ano yung alam mo about aswang? Kasi aswang na alam ko, mukha pa rin silang tao eh. Hindi siya tulad ng manananggal na nag-change ng form. Manananggal is a different one eh. So we have manananggal here. Manananggal is the one with wings. The one that gets their body divided into two. And the lower part stays in one place. And according to testimonies, if you want to kill the aswang, then you have to pour salt under intestines. Kasi di ba pag nahati yun, syempre makikita may intestines. So you have to find that place where the manananggal lower body part is. And you have to put a lot of salt because the salt will absorb the intestines and then the manananggal, the other half, the winged creature, wouldn't be able to get back and return to its body. Oh, really, Hannah? Talaga? Multo is different, okay? Multo is more of a spirit and it's not in flesh form. But aswangs, they're in flesh form. They can actually look like humans. They can turn also into your most loving pets. And they can deceive you so that they could eat you or maybe do whatever they want with you. That's what an aswang is. And some chronicles state that manananggal is a type of aswang. Okay, just like a tik-tik is another type of aswang. Tik-tik is like a bird, which is the messenger of the aswang. And there are other types of aswang. So what are the stories that you've been hearing in your experience? Anyone else? Ano pa? Sino pa yung merong about aswang? Kasi I can go on forever with aswang, my goodness. So, but we won't do that. So I want to hear your take on this, or I want to hear who knows a story about aswang, or what is an aswang exactly? Alam niyo ba kung paano nagiging aswang ang aswang? Anyone? Oh, Mary Chris, sige, go ahead.
Well, Miss, I remember Maria Labo.
Maria Labo.
Yes,
Okay.
Miss, if you're familiar with her story. And I don't actually believe that's true. Pero Miss,
Hindi crime to? Crime? This is crime, right?
ano Miss, parang ano siya Miss, domestic helper ata overseas. Tapos parang sinasabi nila na yung origin daw ng aswang sa Philippines kasi nagsimula sa kanya yung parang amuhan ata niya yung Miss, parang vampire somewhere in Europe. Ewan. Tapos mamamatay na daw so pinasa sa kanila kasi parang ayun yung ano yung para mamatay yung aswang kailangan nila ipasa yung it's like a little bird ata Miss or black
Oo.
ball na maliit. So they have to
Yeah.
pass it for them to mamatay na sila. And then siya yung kumuha tapos umuwi siya Miss. Ayun. So, siya daw yung nagkalat ng kadiliman.
Oo. Ang ano ko naman sa kanya, parang nasa criminal case siya, cold case yan. Kasi, di ba, nadatnan ng mga patay, tapos siya lang yung buhay. Pero yun nga yung sabi, pinasa daw sa kanya. Pero some are like saying that she just made us all up to escape the punishment of some sort. Kasi parang she killed all of them. She killed yung masters niya. Pero yun nga, I've also heard about that one, the black chick. The black chick, and then they have a ritual. Oh my God, they have a ritual. Ano ba yung ritual nila? So, what happens is that the aswang, the dying aswang, will be what do you call this? Will be having incantations. Will be calling out this black chick first, so that hindi pa siya black chick sa una. It's just this liquid that is flowing inside them. Instead of blood, this is the liquid flowing inside them. So ang gagawin niya, kaya siya unti-unting parang mamamatay. Kasi mag-form into a solid form into this black chick. So syempre madidrain na yung liquid sa loob ng katawan niya. And then mula sa tiyan, aakyat siya sa what do you call this, esophagus, and then mag-stay sa mouth until the next aswang will come to get it from the mouth of the old aswang or the dying aswang. So yun yung what I've heard about it. So ipapasa na. So ganun yung pagiging aswang. And it's not something that just happens. Parang silang galing lahat sa isang family. So kung hindi ka naman galing sa pamilya ng aswang, hindi ka naman kailangan maging aswang. Because there's this bloodline, okay? There's this strict bloodline. And not everyone could be just an aswang, and they want, okay? So that's what I heard naman. So anybody who has heard of this or anything else about aswangs? Ano ba ginagawa ng aswang? Bakit nakakatakot ang aswang? Do they eat you? Of course they do. Pero ang favorite daw nila, yung mga pure pa daw. So they like the liver of a newborn child or the heart of a newborn child. Ayan. And it's only when they're very hungry that they would want to eat adults, especially adults who are not healthy enough, because they also want really delicious edible pure stuff, I guess. Yes, Christopher.
Miss, hindi po directly sa like Philippine folklore or mythology yung aswang na alam ko. Pero meron po siyang mga parang derived na inspiration sa mga shows or games. Tapos may naalala po ko, ito pong yung aswang po, parang doon po sa story na yun, they usually treat yung mga aswang as a curse.
Aha, yes.
Kasi parang inners sila ng ng parang god na yun, ng nagbibigay ng ng power ng wolf, ng pagiging werewolf. And yun, parang yung process daw doon is kailangan nilang inumin yung dugo ng ng isa na na-inherit yung yung werewolf na yun. Tas
Okay,
yun.
alright. This is something that you watched on a film or ano?
Pamag-game po siya, actually.
A game! Nax game. Okay, game developer ka ba?
Ay, hindi po.
Okay.
Alam ko lang po.
Naisip mo yan. Okay, very good, Christopher. Well, aswang, a lot of people, foreigners, would look at our aswang as vampires, okay? Oo nga naman, medyo malapit doon. But I think the difference is that vampires, they only drink blood. They don't really care about your flesh. Yun yung difference na kasi aswang, hindi naman nila gusto yung dugo. Yun naman loob mo. But they really like the organs, the vital organs, the heart, the liver. Okay, that's what they want. So it's not the blood. So I think that's the difference. They say that if you want to ward off aswangs now, they hate the smell of calamansi or lemon. Usually it's the garlic that I hear about. But the documentary that I've read and watched, and of course, according to research, testimonies from others, lemon daw or calamansi. Okay, so if you think there's an aswang around you or around your neighborhood, so make sure that you have a calamansi or you smell like one. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, wag tayo puro aswang. How about the others? Anything else? Do you know what San Telmo is? Anybody who knows what San Telmo is? Meron ba dyan? Or anything from here? Or batibat, bungisngis, naga, yan. Yung mga nakikita niyo words dito. Or anything else that wasn't here? Yes, kapre. Okay. What about kapre? Sino may alam tungkol sa kapre?
Ako ulit, pero
Sige,
it's not a
go.
personal story.
Sige, go ahead.
Yung classmate ko po before, I think either tito niya raw po or lolo niya. Kasi ano daw, parang it was a long time ago and I think he was going to school. Tapos parang may nadaanan daw siyang tree. Tapos meron sa kanyang humarang na kapre. Tapos wala naman like nangyari sa kanya and actually I don't really remember very well. Pero parang kinausap siya tapos binigyan niya daw ng sigarilyo para makadaan siya or something. Something like that. Ganun daw. I don't remember. Pero I remember the first time she told it to me. It was so freaky. And I think I forgot it because it was so freaky.
Yes, oo, ang kapre kasi mahilig sa sigarilyo. How about you, Meryl? Ano yung ano mo naman about kapre? Thank you, Hannah.
Ayun sa akin po, nung mga like 10 years old po ako ata siguro nun. Napunta po kami every year sa Batangas po. Parang meron po diyang parang lake po na pwedeng liguan. Tapos yung daan po kasi doon is parang pabundok po siya and matarik po siya, madami pong bangin-bangin. And one time po, hindi po kasi kami nag-overnight dun kasi madami daw pong engkanto, ganun. And one time po, yung tito ko po, tas yung dad ko po, magkasama po sila, parang nag-iikot po doon, habang kami po nag-swim, ganun po. Tapos, nung tito ko po, sabi niya po, humingi po siya ng cigarette po sa dad ko kasi sabi niya, parang amoy sigarilyo, may sigarilyo ka pa. Ganun po. Tapos, yung dad ko po, sabi niya, hindi po siya nagsismoke. Kasi ayaw ko po na nagsismoke yung dad ko po eh. Tapos, sabi niya, quit na daw po siya. Pero yung tito ko po, sabi niya, bakit amoy sigarilyo daw, ganun po. Parang yun po yung, parang pala na tandaan ko po na parang may kapre daw po doon. Tapos, daw po, yun po.
Oo, yung sabi naman, kapag malalaman mo daw na may kapre, okay, there is a kapre around if something smells really fishy and smoky at the same time. So malansa na, imagine mo yung cigarette smoke na amoy, pero malansa, may halong lansa. Yun daw, that's how you would know that there's a kapre around you, okay? And the kapre, it likes beautiful women daw. And they like to daw, they call this, they like to go on top of beautiful women daw. Tapos ito yung sabi din nila na parang pag binabangongot daw yung mga babae, may kapre daw na nakaano sa kanila. Tapos kapag lalaki naman yung binabangongot, batibat naman yon yung umaano sa kanila, umapataw sa kanila. Naku, Hana, I'm not sure you're pangit. Paano yan? Just kidding. Okay, all right. Yes, Alicia, San Telmo, it's a ball of fire that changes into a beast. True. You want to tell more about that, Alicia? San Telmo? How does this San Telmo happen?
Kaya, Miss.
Nakakita ka na ba nito, San Telmo?
Po.
Kasi ang sabi nila about San Telmo, siya? San Telmo. Mali, San Telmo. That's how you say it. Yung San Telmo, if you go to the deeper parts of the jungle or the forest, and then suddenly you see this ball of fire running towards you, yun daw yung San Telmo. Oo, pero sabi nila, kapag na-experience mo ang San Telmo, if you've experienced a San Telmo, what you can do is that you bargain with it something that it would want. Paano mo kayo malalaman yan, no? And then it will give you good luck. Pero ano kayo gusto ng San Telmo, no? We wonder, what does San Telmo want? I'm pretty sure it doesn't want water. Would you know, Alicia, ano bang gusto ng San Telmo?
No po.
Wala. Okay, how about the others? Anybody who knows more about San Telmo? Meron pa? Wala na. Ano yan eh? What do you call this? It's part of the ghost group. It's spirit. Yung San Telmo. And in English, it's called Saint Elmo's Fire. Kaya San Telmo. Saint Telmo. Santo El. Galing daw yan sa isang santo. Parang parang there's sorcery involved in the story, it's just like a legacy of the saint, Saint Elmo, giving fire or light to those who have lost their way in forests. Okay, so that's not necessarily a monster, but when it comes to here in our country, it's very malignant, it's dangerous. Yung San Telmo natin, it's not something to guide you back to your home, but it's actually to make sure that you are not able to come back home. Yun naman dito. Okay? All right. So that's the difference. Okay. Yes. What is the monster that copies face? Monster that copies face sa Philippine folklore. Kasi shapeshifter, usually aswang yan eh. Yung nagkakopya ng face, kaya nga nade-deceive tayo. I don't know, anybody else who knows anything else aside from aswang who can copy the face? Anybody? Ang alam ko aswang can copy the face eh. They can change into form eh. Shapeshifter sila. Yes, okay, go ahead, Hannah.
Miss, ito naman, kinento siya ng kaklase ko nung nag-field trip kami. Kasi wala na kaming magawa. So, nagkwento na lang kami ng ghost stories. Tapos, ito nangyari sa kanya. Well, nangyari sa kanya, pero, okay, kukwento ko na lang. Kasi meron siyang older sister, tapos susunduin daw siya. Tapos, parang, hinahanap siya, tapos nahanap siya ng sister niya, pero parang, ano raw siya, miss, parang wala sa sarili niya nung nahanap siya ng sister niya. Tapos,
Okay.
after a few moments, parang umalis daw yung kaklase ko na yon. Tapos,
Mhm.
bumalik siya. Tapos, yung kaklase ko, sabi, oh, nandito ka na pala ate. Sabi, oh, kanina pa kita hinihintay, tapos wala ka pa sa sarili mo. Tapos sabi, hala, kakarating ko lang dito. Tapos, kasi siya,
Oh,
opo, tapos,
doppelganger, a doppelganger.
yeah, tapos, siya pa raw kasi miss, nung
Mm.
hinahanap niya rin raw yung ate niya, parang
Mm-mm.
nakita niya sa malayo, tapos sinundan niya, tapos nawala. So, parang, like, pares
Oh.
sila at the same time na nagkaroon ng doppelganger experience moment thing. So, ayun. Yun, miss. That's it. I don't actually know kung anong klaseng thing yun. Pero, yung kunikwento niya rin, it was really freaky and I don't remember all the details.
Yes. Oh, you know, my sister also told me about it na may doppelganger nga daw ako. Kasi akala niya talaga umuwi ako. Pero I wasn't there. I didn't go home. Oh, so freaky naman yan, ha, na nakabili ko. Kasi my sister also told me about this yung doppelganger naman, scientifically explained, parang yun yung naiwan mo na energy daw. Kaya it looks like you. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Or yung if you're going to some places also, and the person who died or the person who was there used to have this very strong energy with them, and then they left in a hurry without saying goodbye, so they leave traces of their energy. And sometimes if the walls are concrete enough, it entraps these energy, and through wind and wind forces and anything and any other environmental factors, it forms, parang nagpo-form siya, and it becomes that shapeshifter that you thought. That's what they say. Yun. The doppelganger scientific explain. Parang ganun.